checking in. Yes, Brian just worked out. Brian just got home from the gym, just had a chance to take a shower, and here we are at our 10 a.m. economic report. Thank you for joining me. Still a little bit wet from the shower, but hey, that is life in America, and we just roll with it here at the economic report. So glad to have you one and all to see today's top stories. And you know what I've been trying to do here at the very beginning of each economic report is go ahead and hit a couple stock market items because, well, people always ask about these things. They seem to be issues of areas of interest. So we're looking at Bitcoin right now. We're talking about 10 a.m. Eastern Central Time. Currently trading at 118, just under 119 per coin. So that's a pretty big move here. And of course, flirting with 120,000 per coin last week. So it's something else that we're going to keep in mind. And that is issue number one. We're going to go ahead and check out the next item, which is, I think, Ethereum. We'll throw that one out there because that one is a pretty heavily traded coin as well. I think it's ETH, if I'm not mistaken. ETH, CRYPTO. And we'll see where crypto is. Hey, welcome to the Economic Report. If you think other people should be here, go ahead, feel free to join them. I'm glad to have you. Ethereum currently trading up $61 to $3,814 per coin. And of course, the one that I hold is Solana. And I don't know a ton about crypto, but it's just something that I thought I'd start experimenting with, and so I tested the water a bit. And Solana, S-O-L, crypto, I'll type in price, P-R-I-C-E, takes us to, where are we? Currently trading at 178 bucks per crypto coin, which means it's got up about 1%, not too shabby. And of course, if you're me, I've got a couple of those. Hey, glad to have you here. Welcome to the Economic Report, every single one of you. So we've gone ahead and covered Bitcoin. Hey, every day is a great day. Thank you for joining, and thank you for commenting in the chat section, because that's the ones I do respond to. My name's Brian at the Economic Report, and I want to remind you, a like and a subscribe will get this delivered to you on a daily basis. Today, we already have our main story out, and okay, great to see you back. All right, welcome here to the Economic Report. Once again, I'm Brian, and first of all, we covered Bitcoin price, about 118,000 bucks per coin, maybe teetering on 119. So if you're following the cryptos at all, Ethereum up about 61 bucks, so just around 3,800 bucks per coin. And of course, we threw out Solana. Solana is one that I'm currently holding because I thought it might have the most upside. I don't have much, just a little bit, but I'm up about 150 bucks since I've owned it, which has been been on a pretty wild ride. But of course, today, some of the stuff we're talking about here at the Economic Report and what people kind of started paying a lot of attention to was, well, they took a look at the thumbnail and they said, what the heck is going on there? You've got the president kind of throwing his, please don't let, okay, there's a part two to this, I bet. But I will say that going ahead, we're taking a look at the Economic Report, and of course, we're talking about Trump and some of the rhetoric. And of course, that's one thing you've gotten a ton out of the White House during the last 5 months is a ton of rhetoric. Yes, the president loves to talk, and who's in his crosshairs this week? Well, it just so happens that we have Gerome Powell in all over again. And in one site, and of course the other site is Big Bird, and I threw that out there to you today for today's video. That's the long form that is on the Economic Report video section. And of course, well, the people are saying, well, Gerome Powell, what has he done wrong? I'm like, well, he's just not rolling over for the president. That's what he's doing wrong. And of course, it's a frustrating point that Trump's not getting what he wants. So he increases the rhetoric, says a lot of mean things here, and I covered that in the video that's really worth checking out. And of course, the other part was, well, that Big Bird is getting his feathers pucked. I throw that out there to you because last week there was a reduction in government spending, a reduction in money going to NPR, which stands for National Public Radio. And of course, with that, believe it or not, there was a reduction in PBS funding, which automatically affects Sesame Street. And of course, the main creature out of Sesame Street is Big Bird. So we're talking about kid-friendly educational broadcasting from ages probably about 2 to about 5, maybe 6. You've got a lot of action there with Sesame Street. So we're talking about kid-friendly, and it goes from beyond any particular, should we call it, social stratosphere, that little kids that are rich, middle class, poor kids, they all love the characters from Sesame Street, so they put smiles on the faces of kids. And of course, I think the idea is getting kids started off on the right foot as opposed to starting them off in the wrong foot. So if you're doing those types of things as a parent and putting Sesame Street on, it's maybe you're leaning in the right direction. There was I'll go off on a tangent here for a moment because about 15 years ago or so, there was a huge movement in something called Baby Mozart. Are any of the listeners here familiar with Baby Mozart? Give me a thumbs up, hit like. And once again, if you've not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But has anybody here heard of Baby Mozart before? Let's take a look here. So far, not getting any types of action. So there was the Baby Mozart program out there, and I'm throwing this out there to you because in Baby Mozart, the idea was that if you start playing Mozart music to your children when they are young, their brain starts functioning at a high level, and of course, that music makes them listen, makes them think, makes their brain cells work just a little bit better. But that was the theory behind the Baby Mozart company, and of course, there was all kinds of data, all kinds of statistics supporting listening to Baby Mozart. And as it turns out, most of it was nonsense. And they said that the kind of parents who would go as far as getting Baby Mozart to listen to their children will go to those extremes are probably the same parents that are reading to their children at night, the same parents that are making sure their children are getting regular sleeping cycles, etc. So when you do that, we're talking about the same kind of parents who would probably introduce their children to Sesame Street are probably the same kind of parents that would be pushing kids to move their game forward. Hey guys, I'm Brian here at the Economic Report. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead and drop your comments in the chat. Make sure you've liked and subscribed because today's top stories, we've gone ahead and covered Bitcoin, we've covered Ethereum, we've gone ahead and covered Solana, but we've also taken a look at Gerome Powell, who is the Fed chairman, and of course, he's not cooperating with Trump. So, of course, Trump has vilified him. We've already spoken about Big Bird and the fact that Big Bird's feathers have been plucked by the government, in part because of government spending reductions. And, of course, maybe the bigger theme here is I don't know if we necessarily have a deficit problem per se. We have a spending problem in D.C., and that's the real problem that neither Republicans nor Democrats really are addressing or addressing in a fair and full way. But go ahead and drop your comments here because I do have the next section here that we'll be covering here, which will be stock market updates. Go ahead and drop a company name in here. I can give you the stock market ticker and talk about these stocks for a few moments. Anybody here has anything they want to share regarding the stock market? Last week, I know one of the top hot topics was, hey, would you give me gold prices? I'm like, well, sure enough. So let's go ahead and check out gold prices today. Gold spot price. Last week we caught it somewhere right over 3,000. I want to say $400. Let's take a look where we are today. 3,086. So it's bouncing up right around 3,400 bucks per ounce. Like that is no joke. Like an ounce go ahead and figure out what an ounce is. An ounce isn't very much, so it's a pretty significant amount of money, of course. Let's go ahead and do any of you hold gold or do any of you hold silver? Because that's another great question to ask. Silver is currently trading at, well, let's take a look here. Spot silver prices. I go to a place called Kitco, right online, get my 24-hour spot silver price. This is 38.85. It's inching up to $40. So if you were to follow silver over the past maybe year or two, you see that silver has made a nice run so far. So I want to make sure that you're following a couple of these themes because they are really worthy of following. So talking crypto, talking gold prices here as well. And of course, I want to make sure you are liked and subscribed if you've not done so before. And of course, I do respond to every chat in or comment in the chat. Well, I take that back. I only respond to appropriate comments because sometimes you get some pretty racy stuff there that shouldn't be responded to at all. So just better off be ignored, right? But let's go ahead and check a couple of stock prices out here as well. Thank you for that like. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and look at just a couple of other items. AAPL. People had asked me about Apple last week, so we'll go ahead and get a quote on Apple. Apple trading at... it's up $1.40 right now. 1.4%. That was its closing price as of July 21st. So that's the price for today that we're looking at for Apple stock. So I know a number of you have Apple phones, and that's probably still the most common of the phones to own. Well, it's up to $214.58, so it's up $3.41 per share. Another one of the household names out there has been NVIDIA, NVDA. They have been on a tear, and part of the reason why they're so incredibly popular deals with the fact that they've got a super advanced microchip. Everybody wants their chip, and believe it or not, this company started off as a gaming chip maker, but now their chips are so advanced that everybody wants a NVIDIA chip, including the Chinese, which is kind of crazy stuff. But yes, I am Brian here at the Economic Report, and I have been live. And of course, make sure you have liked and subscribed, and make sure you always know that you are welcome to share here in the chat. A couple things here I want to remind you of in closing that first and foremost, that remember the biggest battle you're fighting really is the one between your ears over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude, number one. And number two, make sure you take care of yourself. If you think of your body as a car and you only get one car to drive your entire life, you want to make sure you're taking care of it, right? Getting plenty of sleep, rest, diet, and exercise makes all the difference in the world. And of course, making sure you're doing something special with your precious time and energy on this planet. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are liked and subscribed. I am Brian at the Economic Report. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you check out the lives that I have. I have also long form videos. And of course, later on today, I will have another short up. Thank you very much. And I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to be awesome.